Maybe if you showed up.
He doesn't really say.
Can we legislate against this?
Okay. Welcome everybody. Thank you all for being here. Can I have a volunteer to read your invocation? Can I have a volunteer to read the invocations? Sally, thank you very much. Dan.
May we, the Student Senate, have the wisdom, patience, and guidance to be responsible representatives. May we be fair in judgments, enlightened in our discussions, and ethical in our actions. Can I get a Go Broncos?
Go Broncos! Okay. Are there any changes to be made to the minutes? We're distributed Tuesday. Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the previous minutes?
Motion to approve the previous minutes.
Motion from Amber, second from Raul. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. No changes to the agenda that you saw from Tuesday night. So, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Amber, second from Afani. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. So, our first order of business, special order of business. Oh, thank you. Sorry, I should have done a roll call earlier. Can we do a roll call for example? Oh, wait. I'm going to do something special. Just to warm you up, when you hear your name, don't say here or present. Say your favorite animal.
I swear we did that.
Did we? No, we didn't.
No, we
Chocolate
did.
bar.
He announced
It's
it.
about
Oh yeah, you said animal and then we did chocolate bar.
Okay, Christina. Dolphin. Cole.
Tiger.
Theo.
Panda.
Ariel. Meg. Abby. Justin. Carmen. Raul.
Dolphins.
Luke.
No leopards.
Kyle.
Lion.
Ann.
Dog.
Zach.
Favorite animal.
Yeah.
Flamingo.
Juliana. Amber.
Elephant.
Eric.
Giraffe.
Helen. Lion. Vidya. Nicole.
Quokka.
Like ocelot.
Allie.
Bear.
Emmy.
Giraffe.
Bonnie.
Komodo dragon.
Duncan.
Lindsay.
Mika.
Possum.
Melanie.
Oh, God.
Obasi.
Axolotl. What did you say? Axolotl.
Oh my God, that's a super
Okay.
water.
Thank you all very much. We do have a quorum, so we'll continue with our special order of business. We have Phil Beltran, the Director of Campus Safety and Transportation Services. Please give him a warm welcome.
Clap after I leave. I'm going to stand up here because I can see everybody from here, and I want to thank you for this cup. I got to tell you, I've been here for 17 and a half years. It's my first cup. Yeah. And I do drink coffee. So anyway, I'm Phil Beltran, and let me tell you a little about myself, and then I'll throw it open to questions. So I'm the Campus Safety Director. And what does that mean? Well, we have a department here of men and women that are here 24/7. Some people like us. People don't understand us. But we have good people who protect this community. And to tell you the truth, we are really after the people that come to do us harm or steal our stuff. That's why we're really here. So I have dedicated young men and women that are really, they're here during Christmas when we're all home. I'm home, you're home. They're here. So we've got a committed group. There are 38 people that work for Campus Safety. Uniforms, like I'm wearing. You've seen the green and black, which are the transportation officers. They have an enviable job of giving citations, and I see one of our student workers here. Yes, there are some familiar faces. So we're committed. We're committed. Don Matei is my emergency manager. He's the guy that is studying the coronavirus right now. We're having meetings on that. Influenza is actually a bigger issue. Remember when we had the meningitis outbreak? Well, Don, that office is also under the campus safety umbrella, is here and organized. So we have our hands in a lot of spots. So let me tell you a little about my background, which will then give you an idea of what I demand of my people and why I want them to be successful here. Because if we can protect you and you can understand us, even if you're unhappy with some of the things we do, because our job is a little negative by nature, we say, no, you can't go in here. Oops, you've been drinking. Oh, we'll handle that. But you'll understand why we do what we do, because it kind of starts with the director, because I never ask my people to do anything I wouldn't do. So you'll see me out at commencement, riding around my little cart, helping people, grandma get to the seats, grandpa get to the seats, directing traffic. I will never do anything that I wouldn't have them do with me. So I'm there for them. So, born in this valley, raised in this valley, wished out my parents had the money and I had the smarts to come to Santa Clara, but I went to San Jose State. I got my degree. I spent 31 and a half years out in San Jose Police Department as a very young 21-year-old. Went on. It was a wild ride for 31 years. Retired, never, and believe me, I'm going to tell you, you never even think about retirement when you first go on. Then all of a sudden they go, you're retiring next Friday. So that was a big shock. And now what am I going to do? I was 52 years old, and my wife would not let me stay home. And I'd blown the leaves off the lawn, and the lawn was so short because that's all I was doing, and the dog was going, dude, why didn't you go to work? So it was a little strange. And then my friend Charlie Arola, who was the chief of Santa Clara, retired and happened to be my academy mate when we were both in the academy together, and he was here and I was there. He said, hey, would you be interested in Santa Clara? Santa Clara what? Santa Clara University. What did we do? Well, 17 and a half years later, Charlie has left. Now I'm the chief. And I got to tell you, it is fulfilling to be here. Being a policeman had its ups and downs, and I was a cop during some really tough times. But I got to tell you, being here is like a dream come true because I'm not a sworn officer. You don't see guns. We are part of the Santa Clara community. My daughter went to LMU. They offered her a soccer scholarship, so she went. But she came back here and got her master's, so she's a Bronco. My wife is an adjunct. She's a teacher, and so she teaches teachers here during the summer. So we're committed to this university, and now I am totally committed. After 17 and a half years, I'm still here. That's good. And I still love coming to work. So what I require of my people is that same love of Santa Clara, of being a Bronco. So no matter what we do, what we wear, we are not part of the police narrative across the nation because we are aimed here at our students in our community. And we don't make arrests. We'll protect you, with our bodies too, to make sure that you get out of a building if we have a problem, a fire. You'll see our campus safety officers come. Now, we have over 250 cameras, so I've pyramided these 25 officers in uniform. We're watching everywhere. And what we're watching for is the bad people who come steal our stuff. Has anybody had anything stolen here? A computer, a bike, skateboard? You're lucky because I look at those every day. Somebody's taking some of our stuff. That's our biggest problem. So what I require of my people is that dedication. And if they don't want to dedicate themselves to this, they don't want to be a Bronco, then we help them go somewhere else and do something they want to do. So that's who we are. So you'll see us 24/7. You know where campus safety is. And yeah, we do handle students who have been drinking too much. We're not looking to put them in jail. What we're doing is we don't want you to get hurt further or get assaulted. So what we do is a little different because with the police officers across the street, we have an understanding. We will handle it as far as we can. So you'll see us call fire simply to protect the students. What we don't want to do and what has happened is we don't want to lose any students. So, campus safety, come on by. I mean, I've got to tell you, and you've been in our office, we have fun. It's a business office and we're strictly serious about what we do, but we have fun too. And, we've had people come to us and say, hey, can you help us with this project? I can't tell you how many projects I've helped with the communication. So if you're a communication major, anybody here? Yeah, come interview us. We'll get you an A, I guarantee. So anyway, that's who we are. In a nutshell, campus safety, we are a part of a consortium of other campus police officers, non-sworn officers like we have, which, are men and women. Some of them are retired police officers like me. We've got a waitress that came and she wanted to learn the security business. She's here. We've got a former teacher. We've got UPS drivers. We've got contractors. So it isn't, kind of a cop club. We are looking for public service and the people that can do that. So why are we important? We're important because we are kind of the last line of defense because we're a wide open campus, and you've seen that. So we're out there, and you call us, we will be there. So I challenge you to find something that we can do better and let us know, because I'll tell you, we're wide open to things. And I was just talking tonight as I was coming over here. They're looking for some friendly competition with the students in the dorms. We tried soccer games and stuff. A couple of our old guys pulled stuff, so we don't want to do that. So I said, find something else to compete in and have some fun. So we're kind of a fun-loving group. But I'd like to throw it open to you because you have constituents that may have questions. And you can ask me anything. So we got a few minutes left here, probably maybe around 10 minutes or so. So I'll throw it open. Yes?
Yeah, I know a few people who have parking permits and they'll still be ticketed because they'll either forget to put their permit out or something. And I'm wondering, is there any way that you can automate that process or have some sort of check that when you go to enter the information for the ticket, it will let you know if you actually have the permit or not? Because that's something I think would be really time consuming or would eliminate the time spent on our ends of people who have the permits having to go to the office, then be no, or fill out the petition or whatever, and then also time on your end of actually having to give the ticket and take the pictures.
Billy Kenny, our director, is really dialed into that. We're looking at LPR, which is license plate recognition. Unfortunately, we don't have that now because it isn't as simple as just adding it because all your information is in that computer system and can be hacked. So we have to be extremely careful, and the university has set a really high bar. But we are looking at that because we would like it too. We would drive through a parking lot and basically the computer on board the vehicle or whatever the officer is carrying will tell us, hey, that car doesn't have a permit. And then those would be permits that would be cited. What we're really trying to do is get everybody out of the car. That would be really good, and you've seen parking is shrinking here. So, yes, we hear you on that, and believe me, my folks would rather not give tickets, except that when you paid $400 for a permit, you don't want to have a lot of people parking for free and taking up your spots. So we're constantly in a balancing act. LPR is coming, and that is going to be, then you'll be able to put, that you have two cars. Say, my wife and I drive, and I'm going to take her car one day. You would list both cars, and it would go by, and if I brought my other car, it would tell me, no, one car's already been charged or been okayed, and this one needs to be cited. So it's a tough thing. I mean, parking, what it is, we've got, only so much parking, and, we've got people that are parking here, trying to park here. So that is on the horizon. Yes.
I'm a CF in SWIC, and one of the things that we face a lot is what you were mentioning about like students kind of like not understanding our role. And I was as far as like being there to help, I was wondering what is the biggest takeaway you hope students can have from campus safety's presence?
Well, and it's tough because a lot of stuff happens in the dorm. The CFs are really a vital person or a group of people that help us take care of the residence halls. And we found that this is an issue up and down the state in all the colleges. What we're trying to do is trying to be supportive, but what this university has also told us, you're the adults in the room. You are the ones we hire. So we have the EMS come in, they want to go one way, and we're trying to minimize or we're trying to take care of it. At some point, we have to make the call. And so what I want my people to do is at least talk to the CFs, find out, get senior staff involved where we need to, and try to handle it at the lowest level we can. Drinking is a really tricky thing, and believe me, I did the same thing at San Jose State. The statute of limitation is gone, but I drank before I was 21, yeah. But what you don't know and what scares us is the person going up in sobriety or dropping, and they are starting to get into a dangerous level. That is the tough call. So the CFs have been a real blessing to us, and that's why we're trying to understand each other's roles. But you're going to get new people. You're going to see some of my new people coming through. You're going to have to educate them, and that's why we're trying to get people in the residence halls together, not on calls, but to socialize. And so we understand, believe me, but we appreciate you, and that's why we take a big role in your training too.
We have time for two more quick questions.
Yeah.
So those are going to be Emmy and Mika.
This is a little more of, I guess, like a suggestion. So I used to live on Bellamy, and I never really felt like unsafe or uncomfortable by people who were around that like weren't members of the Santa Clara community. And now I live on Locust Street, and that like same level of comfort is still kind of there, little bit less so, just because I think it's a little more removed from the school, and even that like 1 block difference I think has made a difference. But a lot of my friends, especially my female friends that live on Poplar, feel oftentimes like really uncomfortable, like walking home at night, or even just like walking in the daytime to like their car that they might have parked down like a little bit further off the street. And I'm not really sure like the scope of campus safety and exactly like where the territory is for them and for you guys versus like what's a little more like off limits. But I guess my suggestion would be like possibly adding like a couple more drive-bys at night, especially on nights going out on Poplar, just because it is a little further out and it does become a little more residential. And it's really like unfortunate to hear my friends like feel like they can't walk home by themselves or something because of people who aren't a part of our community kind of making that environment uncomfortable for them.
That was my biggest thing with my daughter when she'd go out, and later after she graduated, she lived in San Francisco, and she's walking back from her job, and she's talking on the phone. I said, Annie, you have to be situationally aware. Unfortunately, we have people that will come do us harm. Now, our officers will patrol, but again, I did 4 or 5 at night. So what we're asking you to do is to look at the Bronco Alert, the Rave app that we're coming out with. Load that. You're going to see some ability to get a hold of us for us to actually, in the future, we're going to be able to track you. But what we really like to do is escort you. So if you come to the campus safety office or call us and say, hey, it's late or it's really getting freaky out here, I really need somebody, you call our campus safety office. 444 is our 911, Or if you dial 911, you'll get Santa Clara PD rolling and they'll tell us. So a lot of it has to do with, if you think it's late at night and you're not feeling safe, give us a call. We will get you home. So our scope is, if you need to get home, we'll get you home.
And then Mika, final question.
This is just one thing that I've heard from many of my constituents. People who live in the dorms, a lot of times if there's emergencies and they call campus safety, one thing they say is some officers are very respectful of the situation, but other times they're often very abrasive or not very considerate of the situation. So, tell your officers to, I guess, be aware of them, because sometimes it actually aggravates them more, makes them feel more unsafe, and then they'll be less likely to go to campus safety for these issues. And then the danger will just spread because they don't want to address it.
And your CFs are really good at letting us know if we have somebody that needs a little bending of their behavior. We'd like to know from the people who are feeling it, because we want to know specifically how are they handling, and that way we can bend their behavior. Because our goal is, we want the professional officer to go in there. I hired 2 more female officers, so I want a real balance of female officers, especially if we get into situations where you're just more comfortable to talk to a female. So we're trying to keep that balance. That helps. Sometimes we don't do too well with some of the stuff that we're facing. But let us know. We'll take care of it, and that's another part of my commitment, because I ran a girls volleyball club for years, so I dealt with abrasive coaches who were coaching girls and just had different ways. And so what you do is you give me the specific complaint, and I'll make that coach either change his ways or he moves on to some other club. So that's the same way we're here. You give me the specifics, we'll take care of the problem.
Thank you very much. If you're interested in reaching out, I know CYC is working on a campus safety related project. So. Okay, next up we're going to talk about our new RSO voting. Kyle, do we have any left for
So we approved another ESO this quarter, or last week.
You can feel free to pull up the go to the committee updates really quick. The last few slides on the front end. Looking away. Good.
Oh, okay. So we have Chill Club has decided to become an ESO, so we're going to process their application. They finally submit all their materials. And then Bread Lovers or Bowling Club are our first 2 ESOs.
Okay.
Every vote counts. We're going to do as RSO.
So, moving on from that, the rest of the new RSO, are we ready to vote on every vote counts tonight?
We already did them last week. We did them a couple weeks ago.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
And then we just also are postponing Best Buddies, again, in Google's student developers.
Okay. Are we prepared to talk about plus 1,000s we saw last?
So at SAC this week, we decided we're going to do all the plus 1,000s together.
Okay.
So then,
Abby?
What was the reason for postponing Best Buddies?
we had to check in with Ted with something, so we just got to talk about it next meeting.
Senator Mead?
Well, because I remember in our discussion, it had to do with the outside organization that they're affiliated with.
But
We have
that's,
some questions about that.
yeah. So we just got to talk about that with within SAC because Ted got back.
Sorry, this is something that we did in my old thing. I keep doing it by accident.
Okay.
To, like, get attention.
It looks so formal.
I don't know why I did that.
Okay. Well, we blew through that agenda item. Let's move on to new business, which is our plus 1,000 presentations. All right?
Yep.
6 minutes early. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
So for all our associates who are here and presenting, you'll have 3 minutes to present. I'll put up one finger when you have 1 minute left and wave when your time's up, and I will cut you off when I wave. So that's just a heads up. And please start whenever you are ready.
He will. I've seen him do it.
Okay. Hi, I'm Luisa Mattia, and I'm the co-cultural board member of the Latinx Student Union.
Hello, everyone. I'm Angel Lucias, the PR of the Latinx Student Union. And so, what is LSU? Formerly, we were known as Mecha al Frente, MEF. Spring quarter of 2019 last year, we decided to change our name to Latinx Student Union to make it more inclusive to all students. And so this included rebranding of our constitution, of our logo, as you can see, and of our meetings.
So this is our culture show, our annual culture show, and we are requesting money for this event. So this year we will have it on May 16th on Alameda Lawn, which is right between Benson and the library, the central location for students walking by. So we have student performances from Ballet Folklorico as well as other students. As well, we have a food truck, games, photo booth, and music.
And so benefits to the SU community. This event's going to be open to the entire SU community, free admission, free engagement, and free entertainment. This is also going to take place on the same day as Splash. We know that this is a new event, but this will also give prospective students the opportunity to engage with the SU community, with the Latinx student community especially, and see diversity on campus. This also strengthens personal student relationships with the LSU community and the union.
So this is a breakdown of our budget and what we are requesting. So for advertising, $20, entertainment, $300, food, $200, which we will have a food truck, supplies and other, $900. We will be buying flags, flag posts, because we don't have every single country's flag is represented, so we have to buy those to have all of them represented. So a total, we are asking for $1,420. And this is some pictures from our culture show from last year. So you can see we have Ballet Folklorico performing, students enjoying food, and it's just an overall great event to promote our Latinx culture.
Thank you very much.
This is our rebranding year, so this event's really special to us, as it's our first time as the LSU community. So we're looking forward to this, and we hope to get this going. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, LSU. Meta?
Cool, pass these around.
Yeah.
Pass them down. We won't take too much of your guys' time. Thank you guys for having us.
Thanks for coming.
How's everybody doing today? I'm the treasurer of the Middle Eastern North African Club. I'm Jacob Shamia.
My name's Senator Dad, and I'm the president of the Middle Eastern North African Club. So, what are our objectives? This is our first annual culture show. We started MENA 2 years ago, and this is our second full year. We joined the MCC last year, and we want to show the Santa Clara community that we are here on campus, we're a presence on campus, how big we are, and what our culture is about.
So a little bit about the event itself. It's going to be happening on April 18th of next quarter, and we're expecting around 250 people to attend, and tickets are going to be $15 each, and that's a little bit of the details there. So a little bit about the overview. So since this is our first show ever, what we're doing is we're going to be doing a fashion show, some poetry, some people are going to be playing musical instruments, so we're going to have some traditional line dancing, some videos, and we're also going to be receiving cuisine from Saj Catering. They are SCU alumni, and they're also identifying with the MENA region, so we want to do our best to support them. And we're also going to be raffling off prizes as well.
I do want to mention all these performances will be student-led as well.
So here's a little bit of our breakdown. They are on the sheets as well. We don't need to go through the individuals right now. So fundraising that we've done prior to, in order to help get this culture show on the roll, is we've done a baklava fundraising. We received $200 for that. T-shirt sales. Not all of them are sold yet, but we received $468, or we're expected to receive $468. At Absu Night Market, we did falafel and some other desserts. And this last Valentine's Day, we did do grams as well, which we received around $100 for those.
We are also looking at getting grant funding from OML, but that hasn't been approved yet. We're still going to be applying in a couple weeks.
So as of right now, a lot of our dances are underway and almost ready to go. Locatelli reserved for the date, and right now we're in the process of purchasing our supplies to get ready for the rest of the culture show. Thank you. Are there any questions that we have for you guys?
One thing I do want to mention on the last slide, so a lot of the stuff that we are buying that you'll find in the supplies, as well as the entertainment and performances that you see on your sheets, we can use in next year's. This is just our first year, so we'll be able to use those in the following years.
So we're going to be using a lot of stuff, so that's the reason why it's a little bit high this time, since it's our first time.
Thank you. Questions? Senators will send their questions to Kyle and he'll forward them to you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. That goes for everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, Igwe.
Hello, I'm Renee Sanford. I'm the freshman rep of Igwe. Just to give like a quick announcement, this is very last minute. The person I was supposed to be presenting today had an emergency, so I'm stepping in for her. So the details is for the spring retreat, the event will be held off campus at the Coa Santa Cruz campgrounds. We'll be leaving campus Saturday, April 18th at 11 and arriving back on campus Sunday, April 19th before 10 p.m. We will be spending the weekend participating in camping activities as a bonding experience within our community as a way to better support each other. So pretty much it's just a retreat where we're able to like create better bonds within our community. And then if our community can grow stronger, then we can bring more unity to the broader community of SU. So some of the fundraising and other funding sources, first one is we will be having each member pay a reasonable participation fee. It's about $65. We're going to be contacting our advisor and ODI for additional help with providing food. We'll also be applying for grants from the OML and the Ethnic Studies Department, and then also using all the money we fundraise to supplement our allocated ASG funding. This is just a list of all of the budgets she did for food. It's about $275 for Bon Appetit, an additional $600. Lodging was about $3,500, and entertainment about $1,900. So why we need this? So Igwe UK houses one of the smallest minority on this campus. Not only do we face discrimination on a daily basis, campus-wide, we also experience daily tensions in our own safe place. So where we don't face racism, we face colorism. So as a group, we deserve to like create our own safe space for a weekend to reconnect with each other and remind each other why we belong at SU when it appears that no one else wants us to. And that's it.
Thank you very much. We'll forward questions to you through Kyle.
Awesome, thanks so much.
And also for all our SOs, you guys don't have to stay after your presentation. You're more than welcome to, but like feel free if you like to go.
We're not voting on these tonight. So. Okay, NACC.
Hello, I'm Sienna Hanna, board member of NAC. Our president and Powwow chair, Catherine Moore, is ill this week, so she won't be able to be here. I will be giving some presentation in her stead. All right, so who is NAC? So our mission on campus is to create a community campus for Native American students, as well as spread education about Santa Clara's past, the vision statements, some of the things we've worked on, and include the land and knowledge. All right, so just to start off, what is a powwow? So a powwow is a traditional Native American gathering in tribes, and so it's an event that's held in spring to signify new life and based on values fundamental to Native Americans. This event holds great spiritual significance. And so this last year was our very first annual Santa Clara Powwow, so this year will be our second annual, and all of the pictures in these slides are from that event. And so the four main things that occur during the powwow are dancing, including contesting, drumming with North and South drums, and vendors, food and craft, as well as other activities. All right, so our three main goals for this powwow are renewal, education, and recreation. So one of our main purposes is to show appreciation for Native heritage and preservation of the culture of that surrounds the SU community, and this will be our second powwow, as mentioned earlier, so we are affirming that this is going to be an annual event going forward. And we also wish to provide a new perspective and experiences for students on campus, as this is a free event to students on campus, as well as attendees off campus. And also encourage potential Native American Broncos in the future. All right, so this is a breakdown of our event costs, including our promotional t-shirts, total for our staff, an ornament for unlimited speakers, and entertainment, including California Dance Group and Post Style Drums, as well as $9,600 contesting total. All right, so our funding so far has mainly come from vendor fees. So far we've raised $1,210 from that, and we'll be accepting vendor fees through early April as well. And we're also searching for donations through the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, the Alumni Association, and other SU departments. And so the main thing is the breakdown of our contesting fees. And so we have 4 main age groups and 4 categories in each of those age groups. And based on other powwows, the general prices, this is on the low range for prices.
All right, I'll stop you there. Thank you, but we ran out of time.
Thank you very much.
Motion to extend those speakers' time.
I'm sorry, for equality's sake, we have to treat each of them equal. We're going to do it. Thank you very much. We'll forward questions to you. Appreciate it.
All right, how are we doing? Just kidding, we don't have time. So, the purpose of our culture show is to promote an understanding of the Vietnamese American experience. Through dance and drama, we present an emotional narrative that pays tribute to Vietnamese traditions. This production benefits the campus because it provides a platform for Vietnamese students, an underrepresented minority here, to make their voice heard in a way that is thoughtful and larger than life. Now, our production is also a space for VSAs throughout NorCal to attend and share their experiences as well, most notably attracting student leaders from Stanford and Berkeley. By hosting this production, it puts our campus on the map of Vietnamese American dialogue. For our club, this event glues our members together and pushes us to work towards entertaining and educating our friends and family that attend.
Okay, so these are our projected cultural expenses for this year. So for marketing, it's the same number as last year, that cost. And for food, we find that it's very important to cater food and lunch for our cast members so they don't waste time going out to buy their own lunch, and it's time that's valuable to us because we're paying to rent out the theater. And for miscellaneous items and makeup, we find that we're not requesting any money whatsoever. And for costumes, we're not requesting any money either because we will be reusing stuff from last year and we will be obtaining some items from our cast members. And for a set, so we're either gonna buy our own props or make them, and what we don't reuse for next year, we will be donating to Mayer Theater. And of course, the highest cost on this list is a cost to rent out Mayer Theater, which is $5,300. And so this is our sources of funding. So it's fundraising, donations, and ticket sales, and these are all projected costs from last year. But the reason why we're requesting $6,400 is because we no longer have a discount to rent out Mayer Theater like last year, which the cost was $3,500, but this year it would be $5,300. So the largest amount on that list, and the most important, we think, is just the cost to cover up Mayer Theater rental.
Yeah, Mayer Theater is our main priority. We're going to have a lot of cast members on stage, sometimes 20 at the same time, and the production has been planned with Mayer Theater in mind since last summer. We've met with Carolyn Gogemos, the Mayer Theater's production manager, and she has already helped us to plan our show with Mayer's technical capabilities. As previously mentioned, members of the intercollegiate organization NorCal UVSA will be attending, and Mayer helps us achieve a more legitimate and impressive reputation for our club. Every year we've had our culture show at Mayer Theater, so our members, alumni, and everyone else familiar with the annual event already have certain expectations regarding the quality and tedious effort that goes into the presentation of our show. And that is all for our presentation.
Hi, my name is Chris Gamayo. I'm Kumari Segundo.
I'm Mandy Matsumoto.
And we're presenting for Kamanawa o Hawaii. At our luau, we feature many Hawaiian and Polynesian culture through traditional hula dances and Hawaiian cuisine. Being the oldest culture show on campus, we hope to continue to spread the aloha spirit of the islands with the Santa Clara community. This will be held on Saturday, May 9th in Locatelli, and we anticipate 275 plus guests at our dinner show.
We base our luau off of traditional luau in Hawaii, which demonstrate the culture through food and dance. Food is a great way of bringing people together, so we strive to provide the most genuine experience by cooking and serving native Hawaiian specialties such as lomi lomi salmon and pork. Hula is a form of storytelling. Our show features performances by students and that are all taught by club members, such as traditional hula dances, as well as Polynesian dances, such as Tahitian and Haka. Based off of our forecasted attendance, we expect to make $6,875 from ticket sales, as well as $1,000 in donations and $1,660 from fundraising.
If you take a look at your handout, you'll see a more detailed breakdown of our expenses. So now we'll talk a little bit more about some of our more important expenses, starting with entertainment.
So music is an important part of the local Hawaiian culture. Hawaiian Island music is unique to Hawaii because it is evolved from the rich history of Hawaii and the native Hawaiian people, which led to the diverse groups of migrants which influenced what is now island music.
In order to create an environment that best captures the local island culture of Hawaii, we are requesting a total of $10,550 for entertainment. The majority of these costs will go towards hiring local island reggae band Ekolu. Originating from Maui, we hope to bring this band to the Santa Clara community to spread the Hawaiian culture. Now moving on to our food expenses. Unfortunately, because most of our dishes require a certain amount of preparation and ingredients specific to the Hawaiian culture, Bon Appetit is unable to provide what we need. As a result, we are planning to use our one-time culture exemption for luau and hope ASG will still fund these costs.
Including other major expenses, this brings us to a total of $12,060. And this will be our 42nd annual luau, so we hope that ASG will continue to support us, and we hope that you join us at this year's luau. Thank you.
Official come around.
That's so mean.
Whenever you're ready, you can wait.
All right, good evening. We are the Japanese Student Association. My name is Leo C.
And I'm Yuko Tanaka.
And we're the co-chairs of the Japanese Student Association, JSA. So we are hosting Matsuri this year. Matsuri is Japanese for festival. It incorporates various food, games, and performances, and we want to recreate that on the SU campus. So we are doing that up here. Oh, little error there. How does Matsuri benefit the SU community? It gives them the opportunity, that's okay. Opportunity to experience Japanese culture in a variety of ways. We'll be bringing in various performers, having cultural foods, as well as having a lot of activities that come from Japan. There's some information there, but for sake of time, we can skip it.
Because Matsuri is a free event open to everyone, we have been fundraising throughout this whole quarter. We had a kick-out fundraiser and also Absu Night Market, and we are having our sushi night this Friday and anticipate which would bring in around $300. And we also have our RSO balance, our club funds, and OM balance grant. And this is our estimated expense breakdown. We are expecting to spend around $3,589, but we are requesting $2,642 from ASG. And starting off for apparel, we are making customized Matsuri shirts to give out to volunteers because volunteers are a crucial part of Matsuri. And we are requesting $300, which is half of the cost of the shirts because our company is sweatshop free.
Moving on, our entertainment, our main expense. As you can see here, the taiko performance, which is traditional Japanese drums, is going to be our largest cost at around $1,000. And in addition, we have raffle prizes, which will also incur a cost. Because drums are loud, we will also need a sound permit, which has been raised from $60 and is now $66. Just a breakdown here, we can skip over that for time. Food expenses, we will be catering some for Bon Appetit, but we also have foods that we cannot obtain through Bon Appetit. In the breakdown, we've given you some lists of ingredient item and whether we cater for Bon Appetit.
And moving on to games and decorations, we will have multiple games that people can play at. We are requesting $72 for that, and also decorations just to make the event look nice so that people can join us. As they're walking by, we are requesting $207 for that. And finally, for advertising, we are requesting $60. This is mainly for our banner and also for our Snapchat filter. And most of the advertising that we are going to do are free using our flyers and our electric banner slideshow thingies around campus. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Hi, my name is Camille. I'm one of the co-captains of Hypnotic.
Hi, and my name is Paula Valle. I'm the treasurer of Hypnotic this year.
And today we'll be presenting on our biggest event of the entire year, which is Prelude Dance Competition. So who are we? I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen us perform all around campus, whether that's from Love Jones, other culture shows of MCC clubs, as well as at Family Weekend and even Preview Day, which is coming up soon. And basically, we are a community, and I'd like to say a family, where we share passion of dance, where we collaborate, and we all come from diverse backgrounds, and we're able to come together because of a passion of a creative outlet to express ourselves. So Prelude Dance Competition is one of our biggest events of the year. It is one of our dance compositions where we're able to perform, share our talent, as well as get feedback from the judges at the competition. And this has allowed us to increase our presence within the Bay Area dance community, as well as just the dance community all throughout the country, because teams are coming from all over the different states, as well as even representing Santa Clara at these different events and at the different competitions, representing the diversity, as well as just sharing our talent and how we are just coming from different places at SU.
Correct. And if we didn't make it clear before, this competition actually takes place in Las Vegas. So we will be traveling to represent Santa Clara outside of the Santa Clara community. In terms of fundraising for this event, because it is a pretty expensive one, getting 23 people to Las Vegas, we offer dance grams, Valentine's grams, that we actually had just completed the other week. You might have seen us dancing for people around campus. We also offer food fundraisers, both of which we plan on completing during the spring quarter. We offer dance workshops each Monday, which helps produce a little bit of revenue.
You guys should come.
Yes. And we also have a t-shirt fundraiser our fall quarter as well. So this is a bigger breakdown of our revenues. As you can see, a lot of our spring revenues are slated for the spring after we would have paid for these event expenses. So we do need your help kind of bridging the gap there. But a lot of our revenues come from when reduced from our own members, as well as outside fundraising. And lastly, this is our list of anticipated expenses, probably the largest, which being lodging. We have to rent out an Airbnb for 23 members, so it's not cheap, but it is definitely, it's a big part of the bonding experience for our team, and it does help us kind of get to the competition where we need to be. Other things include supplies and others, where we budgeted $400 for costumes so we can look together and present it as a team on stage, as well as props to make our piece stand out to the judges. And lastly, registration, which is $30 per person.
All right, we gotta stop you there.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Wait,
thank you all.
Which one?
Control Shift T. Control Shift T.
They know exactly.
Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
Control Shift T. Just press it a lot.
What are you asking for, Justin?
I want to see Igwe's like expense over time.
I'll send you the presentation.
No, like.
My God.
It's on the side.
It's on the side thing, isn't it?
Go down.
I don't think you need that.
wants to be now.
He does?
He doesn't need it now. It's on the agenda.
Oh, crazy, but they're good.
All right, we're gonna move on. We were scheduled to, okay, let's get on to committee updates.
Hey guys, CYC has a few different irons in the fire right now. Our biggest is a whole committee project where we're working on late night events and options and a safe walk program, but also Fonnie is working on a Black History Month collab with Igwe for Love Jones. Abby is setting up a labor rights teach-in on March 3rd. Hopefully y'all can go. And Raul is working on an ASG SCAP LGBTQ+ Pride Festival sometime in May. We can talk about it more at the roundtable.
Wait, can you go back to that really quick? So we're going to slow this down a little bit. Does anybody have any questions for CYC?
What is
Yeah. Wait.
I was just curious what a labor rights teaching.
Yeah, so I'm doing it through Advocacy for Workers on Campus. So it's just talking about the Benson worker situation and kind of updating people on what's happened since the boycott in the fall. And that's going to be in the moment. It's going to be here.
Helen, you have a question? Sorry.
What is the Black History Month Igwe Love Jones going to be?
Yeah, Love Jones is on the 28th, and so there's gonna be a photo booth. I mean, it's like this is simple.
ASG's funding it, or you're
No, Bossy.
For the Pride Festival, is it planned for spring quarter, and do you need any help with it, Raul?
Yeah, so the ASG SCAP LGBTQ Pride Festival, it's like gonna be a campus-wide like Pride Festival plus parade type of situation, and so I'm meeting with like different departments at the moment, and so this has been in the works for a while now, and like I've had the idea since last year, but I started the planning this year, for this school year, I guess. So I am still like figuring out logistics for like all of it, but the Q&A, so on SCAP, there's like different program coordinators. So there's a Q&A program coordinator, and she's in my department for SCAP. And then we were talking about like our updates for SCAP, and she mentioned that she wanted to do this. So then I was like, oh, like I'm already working on this project anyway. So I kind of got her on board last minute, and I have a meeting scheduled tomorrow with a few people. So once I have like logistics down, I will like get more people on board. But if anyone's like interested in participating or like being a part of that event, like let me know. But more updates to come, and it'll be sometime in May. Given that there were like a shit ton of presentations today, and like sorry, no.
I'm almost impressed.
I was gonna say like I know the dates now, like when all the culture shows are happening now, so like I don't want it to like conflict with like anyone else's like big events.
Okay.
So I'm figuring out like a day of like when that's gonna be, but most likely gonna be May 2nd or May 9th.
Thank you, Raul.
Don't include that in the minute.
I think she would be struggling to anyway.
Love Jones is the talent show, by the way.
Roger that.
For FOC, we're currently on a little bit of hot water for the Hyundai Challenge, dealing with crochet. But we care about our students, so we're trying to set up a meeting for working on the grant money, but obviously it's not going too well. We'll show you more about the Rage Guardian app next week. Video's working with Campus Safety. She had a meeting this week. Also, we have a date set for the town hall. Raul was going to talk more about it during Roundtable Remarks. And then we ran into Father O'Brien yesterday at dinner. So it was great.
Did he pay for the dinner?
No, he did. He tried to get us to pay for the dinner. It was weird.
Was he drinking one of those meter-long
He was.
half yard?
How long is it? He was knocking those
All right.
However long.
Any questions for FOC about what you see on the screen? Theo, and then Eric, and then
got a first down. What do you mean hot water? There's a long story.
Yeah. I can explain during roundtable remarks.
Can you explain it quickly?
Oh, right now? Let's save it for roundtable remarks.
Yeah.
All right. By the time you Okay, Eric, yes.
Why isn't Father O'Brien in this photo? He
Actually,
is.
he's like right behind.
Yeah.
He's behind.
Right there. It's all a joke.
Big Daddy Kevin, he's kind of in the back.
Like you saw him, he didn't see you.
Helen.
No,
I just have an addition update.
Helen, what's your question?
So not a question, I just have an addition that's not on there. So for my VTA project, like I mentioned before, we're working on an app, and it's I officially have a team of like Cohen and CS students, and it's going to be done at the hackathon that we just got the presentation from last week. I heard, like this for social good. I forgot what it was called. So we'll have a prototype by the end of the hackathon.
Sweet. Other questions for FOC? Great.
Okay, so Meg isn't here right now, but the ASG buddy.
Wait, what is it? Buddy mixer or butter mixer?
Oh my God, stop talking. The buddy mixer is tomorrow. So if you haven't emailed your buddies yet, please do, because it is tomorrow and we want as much people as we need as many people. I can't speak today, but we need people to come. So if you haven't emailed your buddies yet, please do so. And then CC Meg on your emails. And then, yeah, show up tomorrow because it counts as one of your tablings this quarter.
It's super easy to email. Please do it.
Also, Duncan's mental health summit is next week for Greek life.
Okay. Allie, you had a question for CC?
I was wondering about like the tablings. Like, are we doing one tabling this quarter? Is that
one tabling this quarter?
So there have been questions about this. Emily, can you jump in here really quick? Senators are responsible for one tabling this quarter or two?
One.
Oh.
1 hour.
Yeah, 1 hour of tabling, and then the ASG Buddy Mixer also counts as like an office hour, but they're like kind of separate. But
They're different, but they're the same.
like okay, so it's like they're different things and they're an office hour.
Okay.
So
it counts.
but also we just like encourage you to go to your Buddy Mixer, but if you go, then you don't have to table because they count towards the same thing as it's an office hour.
Like if you've already tabled, and like we just still encourage you to go to your buddy mixer.
Yeah.
Because it's the buddy mixer.
Nicole.
So what if like we go, but our buddy doesn't go? Then
It
does
still
that
counts.
count? Okay. Cool.
You would just have to be there for an hour.
Yeah.
Other questions for SEC? Okay. Boom.
Yeah, so I don't really have any updates that I haven't mentioned already. Just be ready for all the custom thousands next week.
Ted, do you know when we'll hear back from the trustees, I believe it is, or the budget committee about how much money we'll get? Right.
There's a budget forum on March 5th, which was when they do a formal presentation to the community. And then in terms of the actual allocations to each unit within Santa Clara, that'll be sometime probably closer to spring break. But I don't know what you heard.
So they told me actually earlier, like we should be getting it the week of the forum. We're supposed to be getting an email, or I guess I'm supposed to be getting an email, or someone's getting an email, maybe you, from Lucy from the finance department saying like what our budget allocation is. I mean, when talking to people, it's most likely going to be the same or likely a little bit higher.
Okay.
What I've heard, that's what they told me.
All right. Okay, questions for Zach?
What's your next meeting?
Our next meeting? Wednesday.
Wednesdays.
1 to 2.
Thank you.
Other questions? Got it. Matt, the radar technician. That looks like it. Okay, come through there. There you go. Zach, you are the nickname of the week. Parliamentary procedure, Zach.
What is this?
Zesty. Wait. It's also zesty.
Isn't that Lincoln?
Yeah, I know, right?
It takes out Lincoln.
Oh.
Wasn't this last week?
Yeah, you missed it.
Never say that again.
Yeah,
Run back.
Were you not here?
Fighting a civil war percentage.
Oh, is that why you replaced Lincoln?
I didn't replace the video made
It
this.
was in the template.
Yeah, it was a
So
pre-made
it's like
template.
the easiest.
Video, you were always making these.
You don't think it's all right, so we're going to move on to roundtable remarks. Pull up the calendar.
He said
Okay,
there, you can
so
still see it.
we are. I know. It's fine. We're gonna move on to roundtable remarks. I have a couple things that I wanted to bring up. I understand some people are uncomfortable with cutting off the RSOs. But the reason that we're going ahead and doing it anyway, and I'm open to changing this, is because we tell them during the week, like early in the week, that they have a 3-minute time limit and that we're strict about it. And we're gonna hold it, and a lot of the clubs like stay within that 3-minute time limit, and that's good on them. So if they fail to stay within that 3-minute time limit, then we're gonna cut them off just so that we're fair to the clubs that follow the rules that we set. I just wanted to explain that. I'm open to changing it. I'm open to lengthening the time, but that's your time. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. Any questions about that specifically, Raul?
Oh, yeah, it's a comment, not a question. So I was gonna say I would suggest like moving it at least to 4 minutes, just because I feel like a lot of clubs do stay within that time limit. But even I've noticed that like I guess they struggle to like make it within those 3 minutes. Like I feel like they're pressured and like they already feel the pressure to be up in front of a big group and like a big audience. So like cutting their time is just like a little unfair, even if we're being fair by keeping it the same for everyone else. And like it's only 8 p.m. and I'm not saying that like we need to stay until 9, but like I remember last year we would stay until at least 8:30 and that was fine with everyone. I feel like the discussion or at least asking questions would be better if we did maybe 3 minutes and 2 questions or 4 minutes and no questions. But I just feel like we're always ahead of time in Senate, and so like it wouldn't be a bother to add an extra minute.
Got it. Yeah, go ahead.
So, kind of background with the 3 minutes is all clubs I send to them a template to use for their presentation. The majority of them go off it by adding pictures and stuff for their events, which isn't really super like helpful. It's really what it comes down to is we just need numbers. So it's if they follow more the template that's given, they should easily fit within the 3 minutes, and they're extending it themselves by doing their own presentation, which usually actually is counter. It doesn't help us out because there's a lot of stuff that they miss off, or like they have so much pre information that they miss out actually on the numbers and stuff that we need to see. So it's more if they follow actually what we have set, it wouldn't be an issue.
Okay, so yeah, we're not going to do it back and forth. I'd rather just kind of feel out where Senate is. I'm open to changing this just so that we can spend more time with these RSOs because they are a significant responsibility for us, especially as budgets dwindle. So, straw poll. All right. Straw poll on. We're going to do this piece by piece. Who's in favor of either lengthening the time or having opportunity for questions?
Can we discuss
Can we discuss a little?
Justin.
I honestly think like if we were to extend it from 3 minutes to 4 minutes, I don't think most clubs would be like that's not the difference between like another $500 or $1,000 for these clubs that are presenting. However, I do think we should definitely have times allotted for questions. Like I know we can email Kyle, but how many of us like actually do that? We're gonna forget. But like a lot of the times, like especially like some of the questions, like they have $4,000 in club funds, but they're requesting $2,300. Like that's like questions now that would be nice to address now, not like later when we might forget it. So I do think we should have questions, but not necessarily lengthen the presentation time.
Okay, we're gonna go Abby and then Nicole.
I feel like people probably use as much time as we give them, so maybe as a compromise, we could keep it as 3 minutes, but then do what Ali tried to do today and motion to like extend by 30 seconds or a minute in cases where like they actually need the time to just finish up a thought.
Vasi? Oh, sorry, I said Nicole, then Vasi.
Wow. But no, I was literally gonna say exactly what you said. Like, just give it the option that like one of us could motion to like extend it by 1 minute. Because like in the case of that girl today, like she seemed like she was having a fucking panic attack.
Yeah,
like,
she was
I was
so
having a
nervous.
panic attack. Like I felt like if we had the option where one of us could extend it by a minute, then like I don't think that was necessarily for the club to help us, but it was to help her. know. So I think like there should be opportunities for us to be able to do that with those programs.
Okay, Bossy.
I would actually slightly disagree with that, just because in the order of consistency, we want everyone to get an equal chance to say their piece. But I do think that we should add some question time, because no one's actually going to email. Sorry, Kyle, it's hard to email you. We're all busy. We are. Any Zach? Luke?
I feel like we should add at least like a minute or two for questions, but I think it's important that we at least let them finish the slide that they're on, because I think cutting off mid-sentence like is a little rude, and like yes, they get 3 minutes, but like finishing the slide like wouldn't really kill that much time, you know? Yeah.
Zach?
So I hear the sentiment of like trying to make sure that we treat all of these presentations as equally as possible. Like that's obviously like the direction we want to go in, but not every presenter is similarly situated. Like we can see that some people are really nervous being up there, so they might stutter, they might be nervous. I think that's an interest that we might want to address. And for one thing, it's not so much about the time in which they can take the test, so to speak. It's about the content of the presentation, right? So it's better that we hear what they have to say. You know, they're not going to take an excessive amount of time to describe this event, but it's better that we hear them out than that we just cut them off in the interest of our own time.
Okay, I have Luke next, and I see Mika and Raul and Justin.
Yeah, first of all, I agree with like the time for questions and just like, and the best way we can, trying to be respectful of people and like not cutting them off. But I understand the time, like ahead of time thing also. But also in general, I just think like it is important for us to have, like if they want to put pictures and like describe their events and like beyond just the numbers, because to me that's like the point, like for them to come is like us understanding and appreciating like the other things, like what's going on around campus. Like if it was just the numbers, then we could just like, SAC could do that, or we could all look at it like on our own, but there's no like context. And so like for me, like I'm watching and seeing like all the different like cultural events and things we have going on campus, and like that's to me like the beauty of ASG is like seeing everything we have going on. So yeah.
Mika, Raul, Justin, Ali.
I think one way to compromise so we can have the equality for everyone is there a way we can get a timer so at least they can see how much time is left, so at least they can anticipate, so we can have them maybe 3 minutes for the thing, 30 minutes for the questions, and then that's it. If they are not like cut off, because Kyle doesn't want to do it, obviously. You act as if he's like 3 minutes, like, no, he's doing it because he wants to be respectful to other clubs. So if we can have a timer for them, I think that would be,
That's a good idea. Okay.
Oh yeah, like a pace clock.
Raul, Justin, Ali.
Yeah. So Lou kind of touched upon it, and it was kind of responding back to like Kyle's point. I was gonna say like I think the context of like the pictures does make a huge difference, because if an RSO is coming for the first time and we're not familiar with their club, and like Mena tonight presented for the first time and they're having their first culture show, I think it's important for them to make their distinction, for them to be like, this is why we want to have this, and like show those pictures and like show that, I guess, those graphics and stuff. Just because like I was looking at all of these numbers, and like it could make the difference from giving one culture show more money versus the other. Also depending on the quality of the presentation, just because if you come prepared and you show that like this is actually important and meaningful, and you have pictures, you have like, I guess, past knowledge about what you're presenting on, that's going to make me want to vote on your presentation.
David, can I just respond?
We have a list. I'll put you on it. And then,
If it's a direct response, you should.
is it like a?
It's a quick response.
Yeah, okay.
I literally, what I meant by pictures, I just use as like an example of just excessive description. I just feel like a lot of these times the clubs just use expressive description that doesn't really mean anything, and that's what's adding up time. Not pictures directly, it's just an example.
Before we move on, one thing I could do is I could send out the presentations to you all.
Yes.
The following day.
David.
Emily, I'll put you on the list. How about that?
Oh my God, David.
Sorry, no,
I'm
gonna say if I realize it's
Yeah, I know, right? Okay. Justin,
So
Ali, Eric.
it seems like most of us like are on board with questions. I think we also have to like implement it like we have to be smart about it because I'm not gonna lie, like when we used to have questions, some of the questions just didn't add anything like to the conversation. Like if a club is asking like they have tie hockey balls, and someone asks what is a tie hockey ball? That doesn't like exactly. Sorry. But so like I do have to warn that like we have to like not all questions are equal. Like some questions are more pressing, are going to be more pressing than others. So like how can we kind of like ensure that like the good questions we get asked, not really the ones that like you can probably Google.
Good point. Okay, Ali, Eric.
Oh, I'm next. Okay. I think that like in treating everyone the same, back to Zach's point, I think that like
Guys, Ali has the floor.
thank you. in allowing us to motion to extend time, we would be treating everyone the same in that we have that opportunity for all of the speakers. I think that is a fair point, and I don't know. She was very nervous, and I think that kind of feels like going away from that. I feel bad, so I wouldn't want that to happen again.
Eric, Helen, and Emily.
I have a proposal. As of right now, we do 3 minutes and then cut off and send Kyle questions to send them. I say we do a 5-minute total. So however long the presentation is going to take, let's encourage them to keep it to 3 minutes, and if it goes to whatever 3:30, 3:45, whatever it is, that's okay. But then we have a hard 5-minute deadline on how long we ask questions for.
Put you on the list, Justin. Okay, Helen.
Yeah, so I was like, one thing that kind of confused me was, do we really have much wiggle room on how much we give per club? Like, don't you guys have certain numbers? So like, I don't really feel like pictures really. I mean, like, I think pictures are good for context, but it doesn't affect the number of how much SAC gives.
So, can I respond?
Yeah, respond.
Yeah.
So when we go just for SAC's purposes, when we look at budgets and look at proposals, we don't really look into like events. We look at event attendance because we want to find events that usually have and popular events. But with that though, we don't look at pictures. We never really ever look back at these presentations.
There's no emotional.
There's no emotional. It's
That's
pretty
what I
much
thought, yeah.
off either past funding for the club. If the RSO has already gotten a lot of funds this year, we'll tend to give them less for the future requests. So there's really no emotions. It's pretty much just like how often you do your request and how much do you request for.
Emily.
Oh, hi. Okay. So what I was going to say is because we get these presentations in advance, we can put them in a folder on the shared ASG drive before, so therefore everyone has access to them, and they can like look at them either like before if they're available or after to refer back, and that way if they do have any questions and that they don't get to it, they can like refer to the thing, it'll be there, and then email Kyle. So it's just like a resource for senators to be able to look at the presentations.
Yeah.
Concerned pages.
Insane amount of work. For Kyle. I appreciate it, but I've been where he is right now. I know how hard it is to get people to send in. And if people want to do it, we can make Kyle do that.
No, but I'm saying like
That's what we
just
make.
like the presentations like put in the shared page.
Yeah.
Like you get the presentations, you can just like drag them into the Google Drive and put them in the folder.
We do it in like afterwards at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be more doable, and I could do it.
Is that feasible for afterwards?
So, Justin, then Al.
What did you say? What did Sal say?
Sorry, what was that? Who's the tail end of that?
No, I just didn't hear it.
I should just put the presentations in the shared ASG afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, just to have them so that we
So instead of having like a live Q&A, do you think it'd be better if we just like had 3-minute presentation and then like everybody who has questions will ask the questions and they don't answer it until the very, very, very end. So there's 10 questions, all 10 questions gets asked, and then they can kind of like think about it in their head and have to respond to it.
I can bear Justin, I'm not English. Allie?
I feel like I don't. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel in the past that sometimes the determination from SAC has, if they requested too much, or if their request didn't come in properly, or if you thought the quality of the request wasn't as good as other ones. That has affected how much they get funded, and I wonder whether the presentation or the materials presented through that is part of that.
So to answer for SAC, when we do look at like the type of request, it's if we don't look at the presentation, we look how they enter it. So for you people who don't know, it's like when clubs request this funding, they have to enter all their information in a form, and then goes onto our back end on a spreadsheet that calculates with formulas and everything to give us like a recommended amount. So when SAC like value-wise, it's more we'll cut back on clubs that enter information into the wrong categories, but we usually give them we usually offer them a chance to fix it, but we will cut down on that, but not the presentations.
Mika, Duncan, Abby.
A suggestion I have for questions is if we cannot do questions after the presentation, rather bring it up in, for example, roundtable or before roundtable. So it's like just write down the questions you have, like bring a paper and then like ask it out loud so like other people like, yeah, I have that question, or other people could, if they know themselves, answer it.
Great, Duncan.
Yeah, so I enjoy the presentations and I really appreciate the people make the time to come in and do that. But I just think I wonder if it would streamline the process if they could just obviously send it to us beforehand. We could all look at it on our own time, come into Senate, and then they could come and not do the presentation, but maybe just ask if we have questions for them, or just say, this is our budget, what do you think? And then maybe we could just do all question time instead of having to go through a presentation during Senate.
Thanks, Duncan. Abby?
I was just gonna say, I like the idea of the Google Drive, but I feel like kind of like what Alan was saying, my takeaway from today was not so much that we don't understand what they're asking for, but that they leave the room feeling disrespected because we have to cut them off. And so even if it is something as simple as the timer or letting them finish the slide, I think our focus in amending this needs to be on how we're treating people when they come in.
I'm gonna stop it there, and we're gonna just test the waters here. So, show of hands, who wants to keep it the way it is, the way we had it tonight? Okay, that's a good. So that's a good indicator. So, some ideas we had tonight. So I'm just gonna call I'm gonna group increases in time and the potential for questions into one category, and that's gonna be called an increase. Okay, so show of hands, and who's in favor of an increase?
Well, wait, increase in what?
We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so that was a majority. A lot of you guys want either more time or an opportunity for questions. I think we can also just get a timer. I don't think that we have to vote on that or anything. I'll just use the budget. So can I hear very concise ideas about what kind of increase people would prefer? Raul first.
So I kind of want to go back to Eric's point. I kind of liked Eric's idea because if you give everyone just 5 minutes and then you encourage them to present in 3 to 4 minutes, and then they can use the last minute or last 2 minutes for questions, and that, we're not necessarily cutting them off, but they knew that they had 5 minutes for presentation/questions, and they can use that as a wish.
Anne?
I was gonna say what you said. I just like the idea of they can choose how they want to use the time, and then instead of having a limit of questions, because some questions take much longer than others, there's more of a time limit to finish that up. So I like the 5-minute idea.
Kyle and Dio.
So going back to my first year on ASG, we had 5-minute presentations. The issue with that is we would have senates that went till 9:30, 10 p.m. at night because we had 5 minutes, and today that would have taken almost over an hour to do. So I caution doing a 5-minute thing. I think what's a better idea is to start with our basic 3 minutes, because I keep it fair for all the clubs who have gone through that process so far this year, but allow for additional 30-second increases to it that can be motioned with a max count of 4-minute and 30-second presentations. So how we should do it to keep it fair, because we've already gone through a majority of our presentations, it's only fair to the clubs that would keep the 3-minute time. With that though, we should do where there can be motions for additional 30 seconds. We can decide if we can unlimit it or if that's to a set number, just so that we have the option to extend, but we're fair to clubs, and clubs come here presenting like they're on a 3-minute time, because that's the best way that would keep clubs somewhat that at least they'll try to be under 3 minutes.
My worry about motioning for more time, and the reason I didn't grant Allie her motion tonight, is because if clubs realize that they can almost all, like they can just go overtime, and then a senator can motion to get them more time, and they'll all prepare for a minute and 30-second presentation. There's a moral hazard there.
I'll still say, like in my email, like 3-minute presentations.
Yeah.
And also, we won't have many more plus 1,000s this year. I wouldn't expect more than probably like 5 spring quarter.
Okay. Sorry, man. Theo, and then Ali, and then Raul.
I was just gonna say I like Eric's idea, but maybe doing 4 minutes instead of 5.
That's not bad.
That's a lot.
Okay. Ali?
I was going to suggest something similar to Kyle, that I was going to suggest doing 1 minute increases to 5 minutes instead. It's because I think if we're going to vote for a time extension, if it's 30 seconds, that'll be equal to the amount. Like, I feel that would be equal to the amount of time their mind getting back on track after we just voted in front of them. And I think to your point about it being like they'll expect it, we don't have to motion. That would be within their right. And so I think, I don't know, I don't think that would be an issue.
Raul,
Speak up. Just it's hard to hear.
Gotcha. Okay. Raul, Nicole, Justin.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, with like, I feel like you and Kyle already pretty much run the presentations efficiently. So I feel like if we did do 5 minutes, it wouldn't necessarily create 9:30, 10 o'clock Senates. I think the reason you might have had those is maybe there were like other contentious issues you were discussing and stuff like that. We had 12 presentations tonight. We finished at exactly 8 p.m. If you were adding 2 minutes per 12 presentations, that's only 24 minutes more. So we would be done by like 8:30.
Sure.
So those senates were solely like plus 1,000s.
So was it 5 minutes for the presentation
minutes
plus
for a
questions? Because then
There's
that's,
mainly 5 minutes just for presentations.
then that's why.
But still, though, if we're doing the 5, it's still going to take way longer, and it's not going to do any benefit to SAC or anyone deciding on how much to pay for.
All right. All right. So, Nicole and Justin, can I get back to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. So I was just gonna say, like,
Was that a joke?
Yeah.
She's like, I hear you, but no.
Okay. So it sounds like we have a lot of people in favor of some kind of overall time limit with no parameters on how long the presentation has to be and how long we question. So, can I get a show of hands who's in favor of either a 4 or 5 minute limit? Just unstructured, they can use it how they like.
Which one?
Either one. We'll get to which one later.
One or the other after.
If you're in favor of one of them, raise your hand, and then we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Okay, that's majority. Okay.
But we don't tell.
Yes. All right.
We
Show of hands.
3-minute
Show of hands for who would prefer a 4 minute limit. Okay. That's also a majority. Show of hands for who prefer 5. Okay, that's not a majority. Cool. So.
You just voted.
Oh, this might say. Cool. So this is bylaws. I don't think we really need to vote. Just have a formal roll call vote to vote for this. But moving forward, Kyle, can you ask the remaining 5 RSOs to prepare?
I can't. I just feel that it's unfair to all the RSOs who have been under the 3-minute time limit. But we already went through so many that stuck with the 3 minutes and under the same structure. I just feel like it's unfair for the few remaining to have an extended time period when the other ones had to operate under pressure of not having it.
We're correcting a mistake, so that's the whole point of this.
But it's fairness. And will this extra minute really add anything?
I'll add a minute.
Well, that's why we're.
Bonnie, you haven't spoken yet.
Yeah. My problem, I just don't like.
Bonnie has the floor.
I don't want to cut people off. I think that was very rude, and that starts our discrepancy issue because they're over here asking us, being vulnerable and asking us for funds to put on their culture show. And we're like, okay, you're done. I think that's just a very disrespectful part. And I think just getting a big timer over there so they can visibly see, and I'll have Kyle wave the minute thing would be the most effective way to do this.
Okay, I have a proposal. How about, in the interest of fairness for the remaining plus 1,000 clubs, we have the timers, they can see it. And then we can make a bylaw because that's literally all the presentations left that we have, like the remaining five plus 1,000s. And then we put in the bylaws or in our standing rules, we can put, probably more likely in our standing rules, we can put rules for presentations. And we can come back to this conversation. Allie, just itching for it, aren't you?
Yeah, I was just thinking that it seems like we want to fix like the cutoff issue now, and I was wondering whether we could just extend it to 4 minutes for the rest of this quarter if we feel it's necessary, and then next quarter we can start with a new system, maybe the 4-minute thing that we were just talking about. Can't we just
Motion to end debate.
Second.
Yeah.
I would caution against like putting something in bylaws because as we've seen, like this is something that can be changed as easily as like.
Right.
So you guys don't put it in the bylaws. It can just be something that SAC does.
It would be a standing rules, most likely. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on. We don't need a motion here. I got you. Justin, I know you want to speak, but you've spoken a lot. So down. I appreciate it.
You have 20 seconds.
Oh wait, are we still on?
Do you have a question?
No. Wait, are we still on the RSS?
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do. Just in the interest of being fair, like what I mentioned, in the interest of being fair to the clubs that have already presented and presented successfully under 3 minutes, we're going to keep it under 3 minutes this time. Okay. For the remaining plus 1,000s, I'm going to get a timer that they can see, so that we don't have to cut them off, and so that they are more aware of their time. Okay.
Like a shot clock for.
Yeah, that's what it'll do. And then we can also, in our ad hoc committee for standing rules and orders, we can include rules for presentations. Sound like a plan? Cool. I had a couple more things. So I've met with Robin Reynolds. Okay. Robin Reynolds and a guy named Harvey and a woman named Jessica. I don't know either of their last names. But we talked about having, have I told you guys about this yet? Having a dinner night in the Adobe Lodge. So, yeah. So like a sit-down restaurant served by a server, not a buffet. No, not a buffet, because we talked about this and they're like, so do we want a buffet? And I'm like, okay, we should, like, our guiding principle for this should be to make it as little like downstairs Benson as possible. So it should feel like a real restaurant. We talked about having potentially like a student jazz trio there. Yeah, like live music. I think it'd be safe. So I'm gonna reach out to her again this week. We're hopefully gonna get that pilot program going next quarter. Hopefully a couple times a quarter. So that's what I'm working on, just so you all know. Additionally, and really quick, can y'all raise your hands if you do not have ASG apparel?
Oh wait, like none at all?
Is there stuff left? No, like ASG apparel from this year.
One's from this year.
From this year.
Oh, okay.
It's on the office.
I go.
Oh, I don't have the polo.
Okay.
But I have this.
Is it a polo?
Okay, cool. So they're extras. They're not. Oh, they're in the office. Okay, I'll bring them to Senate next Senate. Okay.
Make it next.
Additionally,
You can also go to the ASG office in Locatelli and go grab it.
That's
you grab
like
it for
really
yourself, too.
far.
I don't know what you want me to do.
What you gotta do?
Why are you in Shelton?
okay. Thank you for that. I think I have those names down. Okay. TEDx is next Thursday. So is senior night, and we don't have a speaker. So considering canceling Senate.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
Gets on President's Day
No.
for $10.
You got them all excited and you're wrong.
No.
What time is, anybody know what time senior night starts?
6:30 to 9.
BS,
Oh,
man.
okay.
It's BS.
Okay, 6:30 to 9. What time does TEDx start?
6 o'clock.
Ooh, okay.
It's whack. APB moved their whole event. It's stupid.
All right, so we can't cancel Senate because we have to vote on plus 1,000s. We can't leave them for another night, for another week. So we can have a short Senate because we don't have any speaker. So,
We vote digitally.
huh?
We vote digitally.
No, we can't do that.
A poll.
Oh, well, I'm short sighted.
Absentee
Just so you know.
ballot.
Oh, I might have some food for you. I'll see if I can make that happen.
Are we
Yeah.
still doing roundtable remarks?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say I had a meeting with Tad and some people from Lyft, and it went really well. And we're trying to schedule another meeting with people from sustainability and transportation and other departments. And so part of it was wondering, because we're gonna have like the program is kind of a discount for students to use Lyft, and so we have like a setup where it's like it can take you from like the SU area to other places that are like geo-fenced, and so it's not necessarily like just someplace in between. And so currently we have like Santana Row, and we also have like the San Jose Airport. And I was just wondering, like, are there any other places that you think that like students might want to like that are popular and students would want to take?
Or maybe downtown San Jose.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Franklin Square.
I actually think the center.
Ooh,
Yeah, you can line scooter there.
Matrix.
Agreed.
Other
Other comments from roundtable?
Yeah. SAP Center, Levi Stadium, and then San Pedro Square.
Okay. Levi Stadium. Where else?
Bonnie has one.
Pedro's downtown.
Give me 7, please.
AO Bonnie has one. Oh, he didn't hear you.
I hear you.
It's already
Okay. Cool.
Locatelli.
Like obviously like Camillus and probably Dom's and probably Parks.
Oh yeah.
The apartment complex.
I mean, I don't know. Just
Be surprised.
It'll be cheaper though.
Anyway.
Let's keep it in order here. So, Theo, you have some ideas? Are you satisfied?
We're saying villas, dogs, parks because like the bar. Some people I know if I go that I literally just like dogs.
And they probably don't
Thank you, Juliana. Okay. Guys, roundtable remarks is so we can collaborate. One person has the floor at a time. They're asking for help, so we owe it to give them our attention. Okay? Duncan.
Just out of curiosity, would people be in favor of having an earlier Senate next week, perhaps?
Yes.
I'll do it.
Let's do it.
What's the reason?
Or just
Yeah.
so that people can go to TEDx and senior night?
That would be significantly earlier.
Maybe like an hour earlier.
An hour earlier.
Yeah.
That
We meet at 5:30.
Is that 5:30?
Let's do it at
You'll
midnight.
literally
I can
do
just
that's at 6.
Show of hands of who could make it if we had it at 5.
Let me check my calendar.
30. Class gets out of
David, you can't make it.
Yeah, you can't make it, David. You have standing roll.
5:30.
Let's try to get out of that.
What about 6? Show of hands who can make it 6. Okay. That's a shaky yes.
I mean,
Are we gonna have ad hoc?
Hands high, like I need to get a.
David.
I can
Are we having ad hoc?
I give it 15 minutes.
I do it in 15 minutes.
Hey, we're just gonna have. We're not gonna
Can you
change it.
reschedule ad hoc?
All right. So we're not gonna change the time of Senate because we have constituents and they know that Senate starts at 7 on Thursday. So in the rare event that we have public interest, they'll show up in the right time at the right place. But Kyle tells me that he can get this done in 15 minutes, so we can cut roundtable remarks if you like, and at least we're at a central location. Emmy.
Okay, so the woman from LinkedIn who I was like trying to coordinate rock your profile sessions for like FCC, SCAP, RRC, etc., has not gotten back to me after 2 different emails. So I'm looking for kind of like project ideas that people would like to see in the spring. I really want to focus on like marginalized communities on campus and helping them with career resources. That's something I know the Career Center wants. So like please contact me if you have ideas or if you have people who have like specifically had interest in stuff because that would really help me and the Career Center out.
I mean, I have an idea.
Please text me.
Very cool. Okay.
Okay, so for late night Benson, I guess, what would you, if you guys have suggestions too about like what we could do or something we want to see, I'd love to know that too.
some vegetables.
Oh, like say like if you'd want something specific to be open, like the salad bar, or like or healthier food options, because that's mainly what that's something like why I suggested is because a lot of students don't like the fact that isn't it just like fried food? I've never lived off that.
Yeah, it's all.
It's like just fried food.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions or like want to see something specific, email me.
Reach out to Juliana. Theo, you have something?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, it might be more like, I know a lot of kids don't like that there's like the weekends are like there's not that many options on the weekends. Like I feel like that might be
Yeah, reach out to Juliana. Juliana, do you have some more?
Oh no, that's all. Yeah. So if you guys have anything for the events of the day, please reach out to me for that.
Helen and Raul.
Yeah, I just had a question for Theo about like the lift project. Like, what was the idea behind it? Just to like give students discounted passes?
Yeah, so like we have like a few parameters that you can like work with in like the area and like what kind of discount we would want to give. But the basic like idea behind it is giving like, I don't know, like a $5 discount per like month or per quarter for like for students, and so that they can use and primarily for I mean there's a couple like main reasons. One for like safety if they need to like, you know, get somewhere later at night, and then also with like sustainability since Lyft works to like offset carbon emissions, that would help also work with like Santa Clara's goal of becoming a carbon neutral school, and then also just for like kind of like, I don't know, like the purpose of like kind of allowing more access to do like off-campus activities, because there's like kids who can't afford to like, you know, Lyft or like Uber someplace because it's like that can be really expensive.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna ask, what was like the discount? So you guys haven't like decided?
No, yeah, we haven't decided. That'll probably be like after our next meeting. We're trying to get another meeting like the first week of March, so I'll probably have more updates after that.
Okay, and then I have like I guess updates. We should just put a slide that says Raul's updates.
But can we finish the Lyft thing really quick? Some of the people had questions about it. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, like, I kind of feel like that's counterproductive to sustainability, especially since the bus is run, and you can get a free like shuttle to the airport with BTA, and BTA will take you anywhere, and that's also the initiative I'm working on. So I'd love to like discuss it with you further outside of Roundtable. But I just think it's kind of like redundant, and, like not to be like aggressive, like but unnecessary, because like students who can't afford Lyft and stuff like that, even with a $5 discount, still can't afford that regular fee and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be like that impactful.
Cool. Raul, go ahead now.
Are we done with those? Okay. Okay. So I guess two things. Theo asked earlier, like, what did I guess currently in the hot water with like admin meant in reference to like the Hyundai challenge. So we're gonna meet hopefully soon. We were supposed to meet in March, but we're trying to move a meeting, like our meeting time sooner, just because like it doesn't work out for us to meet finals week, and like Krishay and admin didn't like consult with us about like moving forward like with the project and like meeting times. So we're supposed to meet sometime before then to discuss like what to do, and also like more transparency, because they kind of it was like a slap in our face in our last meeting. And Vidya can also attest to this, that like we weren't informed that they had already decided what to do with the money, and kind of had printouts of like the blueprints and said like, we want your ideas, but by the end of the meeting they were like, this is what we already decided. And a lot of students expressed that they didn't think this was a sustainable project. They didn't think that this was a fair way of like promoting water refills and things like that. So we want to discuss that further with administration. So I'll keep you guys updated with that. Yeah.
What was the project that they proposed?
So they proposed to use to do 3 or 4 water bottle refilling stations, which they claim cost about $6,000 to $7,000 each.
But they're only $700.
But they're only about like $1,000 each. So they said like 5,000 is going to labor or something like that. And then and then 40,000 would be going, or not 40,000, like 60,000 would be going to solar panels. And then they said that the rest of the money that they would need for solar panels was coming out of like a basically like reserves fund type of thing. And they didn't tell us that, and we didn't advocate for solar panels, and the students didn't want that. So we're still trying to, like, I guess, advocate for our student voices and also defend ourselves because, like, yeah. So, and then the second thing, so we are planning the town hall for week 9. And so we kind of got a timeline going. I talked to, like, CUIC about this week, and then, like, a bit of, like, a few exec members. So essentially it's going to be, like, it's going to be a rundown. It's only going to be an hour. It'll be from 7 to 8. And then we'll have, like, an intro to, like, every branch, a quick panel with moderated Q&A, and then we'll do, like, a breakout session. So I'm just running through it quickly just so in everyone's time. And then in the breakout sessions, everyone will have the chance to, like, talk about, like, your projects, and students or constituents can, like, express what they want to see with ASG and, like, how we can better support them. So it's just ASG related. Like, we're not collabing with CSOs, nothing like that. But I do want to get quick feedback on, like, what you guys think about the title Hot Seats with ASG. This was proposed by, like, I think Sahil or Charlie, I don't remember.
It was collaborative effort.
Yeah. Okay, with Sahil. So then, like, I don't know if you guys like that idea or if you guys think it's.
Sorry, how is there more?
Sorry?
You've been talking for like 3 minutes straight. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
any question about the title of it?
Yeah, so I'm asking, like, for I'm asking for, like, feedback on the title, if you guys think that's, like, too apprehensive or if it's, like, a good working title. It would be, like, Hot Seats with ASG and then : bridging the gap between student leaders and the student body. And, like,
Go with Hot Seats.
Hot Seats.
Yeah, there's hot seats.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I think making sure that in the description of whatever it does say, like town hall, because that's more descriptive, I feel.
What?
Town hall, I think itself is more descriptive, so making
Yeah.
sure that's somewhere.
Oh yeah, it would be in, like, the description. We just didn't want to call it town hall, so it's, like, a more fun, collaborative way of, like, people. It gets people's attention.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Can I have a mandatory splash plug?
No. You can do that on the last flash. Motion from Allie, second from Duncan. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Adjourned.
Roll call, right?
Allie, you were.
Hey.
Oh, actually.
Would you like to transfer?
Yes and no. And meeting with him on Friday.
Lay it down.
All of them.